SBA Publications.
Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope that you're doing nice, and today we are back with our series of English literature, and it is our chapter number 10. This one will be very interesting as it is about a very interesting cartoon character, or we can say a comic character. The chapter is The Adventures of Tintin. Let's get started with the reading. The adventures of Tintin continue to interest and fascinate fans many decades after its irreplaceable comic hero first appeared in print on January 10, 1929. The creation of the Belgian author Hergé, whose real name was Georges Prosper Remy. Tintin is one of the most recognized and best loved fictional characters and perhaps Belgium's most famous icon. So Tintin is basically a Belgian character created by we can say Hergé. Although essentially a comic strip character, Hergé knew the importance of accurate research and took care to place Tintin in a real and believable world. So he used his brain to put this character into a world which people would love. Clippings from magazines, visit to the museums, consultation with experts all contributed to the successful shaping of this lovable character. So the birth of this character took place with a lot of research and a lot of hard work. An adolescent with no known family, this endearing character is a journalist, an adventurer and a detective, all rolled into one. So this character who is an adolescent and he has no known family. So he is basically a journalist and a detective. He is also an adventurer, which all of these characteristics are rolled into this one character. The round-faced, dotty-eyed reporter has only one distinctive feature: the celebrated Wolf. The Brussels newspaper Le Vingtième Cecil introduced Tintin in the comic supplement and he hasn't looked back since. The intrepid, ageless reporter has had an uncanny knack of surfacing at just the right moment in international crisis, along with a supporting cast led by his faithful dog Snowy, Captain Haddock and the eccentric Professor Calculus. Tintin battles good for nothing for all stripes, spies, drag runners and mad scientists and Latin American. So here we are talking about the other characters that included the adventures of Tintin. That were his dog, Captain Haddock, and the eccentric professor whose name was Calculus, and the Latin American guerrillas, the soldiers. Okay. Now, the boy reporter's first adventure was Tintin in the land of Soviets, and he exposed the Soviet propaganda and put the communists in their place. So although it was a cartoon for children, yet it included the topics such as communism, etc. From this debut, he went on to be present at the Japanese invasion of China in 1930s to get embroiled in an oil crisis in the Middle East. Before trekking to the capital of crime, Chicago, he was in Belgian Congo in Africa. So all of these things are faced by Tintin, our main character, and yet it deals with much more greater topics. In 1954, he even went on a voyage to the moon 15 years before Neil Armstrong landed on the moon aboard Apollo. So now we can see that this character reaches the moon before Neil Armstrong in its comic. It is a familiar sight in these comic strips to see Tintin grabbing his coat to chase another adventure with his trusted Snowy in tow. From villainous drug smuggler at sea to expeditions to the North Pole and searching for sunken treasures in the Caribbean, Tintin and his gang have escaped the jaws of death many a times. So he has not only reached to the moon, he has also done a lot of voyages, and uh, de- he has also dealt with some smugglers, and he also went to North Pole and faced death a lot of times. Courageous, ingenious, modest, and practical, Tintin never hesitates to confront the forces of evil and protect the weak. So he works as a superhero. The breathless career of this young journalist with his cowlick hair has taken him all over the world in 23 of his comic adventures. So there has been 23 comic adventures of Tintin. With his exploits, the dashing reporter conquered the hearts of readers of comics and generated a legion of Tintin fans across the world. The Tintin books have been translated into more than 60 languages. So this has earned a lot of fandom that it has been translated into 60 languages. The last adventure was left unfinished on Hergé's death in 1983. The last adventure is left unfinished because the author, the creator, died in 1983. This favorite hero hasn't chased any new adventure after the demise of his creator. So after the death of Hergé, this character did not have any other adventure, as no one else tried to carry on the work of Hergé. But Tintin lives on in an endless stream of Tintin t-shirts, watches and mugs. So a lot of merchandise is still in the market. The fact of the matter is that although Tintin's last completed adventure appeared in 1976, it did appear in 1976, he is more alive today than ever before. A silver €10 coin depicting Tintin and Snowy was minted especially for the 75th anniversary in 2004. In honor of his endearing comic character, the American director Steven Spielberg made the animated file The Adventures of Tintin in 2011, which became a hit across the world. So, the comic has been converted into an animated file by an American director, Steven Spielberg. So this was the story of Adventures of Tintin, how a Belgian creator created such a comic that everybody in the world loved, and they still love this character, which made him alive in the form of animation. So that's it for today. Now we have vocabulary. I hope you loved the story of this character's birth. So first word is adolescent. That means a young person who is developing from a child into an adult. Cowlick is hair that sticks out from the rest of the hair. Debut is first formal appearance. Demise is death. Doughty-eyed is having eyes with mischief. Eccentric is behaving in a strange way. Embroiled is involved in a difficult situation. Basically, essentially is basically. Exploits is brave, exciting and interesting acts. Guerrillas is soldiers who fight against the government. In tow is following closely behind. Ingenious is clever at inventing. Intrepid is fearless and brave. Irrepressible is uncontrollable. Legion is a large number of people, and coif is a special hairstyle. So that's it for the chapter. Now we have this exercise which you have to do on your own on the basis of our story. I hope you enjoyed the chapter and you learnt a lot about this very famous character, Tintin. So that's it for today. I will see you soon with another interesting chapter. Till then, keep on learning. Bye-bye.